Back in 2006 I did some footage that never really saw the light of day, but now it's quite interesting because everything that's on these next three clips you're going to see no longer exists. This, for example, is the A666 at Ewood, which predates the construction of Alan Shearer Way. I worked on that scheme, and it amazes me that we ever put up with the old triangular one-way system that's shown in this video. It's quiet and free-flowing while this video was taken, but generally it's just used to jam up, and it was pretty rubbish. The current layout is much better. The houses there aren't surrounded by traffic, and there's like a nice little bus station there now. It's a lot better. This bit of the A666 though is still pretty much the same, and still got the same problems with parked cars. That speed camera's still there, and that church has gone though. That's now a car park for the Blackburn Rovers football ground. And then coming up here, this set of traffic lights is now a mini roundabout, which doesn't really work because it wasn't designed as to how I said it needed to be, but that's another thing entirely. So then we'll jump to this footage, which is coming out of the multi-storey car park at Blackburn Shopping Centre back in the days when it was all very pink. That's all changed as well now. You go down this ramp and the road layout's completely different. That was part of the revised town centre access strategy. You come down to the bottom of this ramp here now, you now have a road that goes directly ahead, and it cuts through that gap in the buildings there, and that takes you up to Barbary Castle Way, while traffic now comes southbound down Victoria Street, and there's the St John's Church before it burnt down. And yeah, so this is again a layout that's completely different. Vehicles parked on double yellow lines because of course they are. It's Blackburn, nobody ever enforces parking restrictions. And the junction there with Barbary Castle Way. Yeah, fascinating watching these played back really, because as I say, it's all so different, and there's stuff that I don't remember. You know, you do remember it, but your mind kind of just forgets, because once something changes, you just deal with what's new, not what used to be there. And watching this back, Blackburn has really changed, and I think it's changed for the better, but a lot of people tell you it hasn't. But then again, you know what they say about nostalgia, it's heroin for old people, isn't it? I'd forgotten how long this set of signals took to change. I do remember back in the old days. I sound like one of those now, don't I? I remember when, but yeah, you would wait forever for these signals to change. I mean, I'm having to waffle just to show you. God, look at the cars. This is only 18 years old, this footage, and it might as well be from another universe. Whilst we wait for these traffic lights to change, now would be a good time to say you can support my videos on Patreon or Ko-fi if you enjoy doing so, and here is a nice little shout out for those who are already doing so. Thank you so much for your support, it means a lot to me. And I can't believe I've managed to do that before the lights have changed. Anyway, that takes us on to Barbary Castle Way, and the anti-skid surfacing you can see here had just been laid very recently when this footage was done, because look, there's all the sort of residual bits been scraped away by passing traffic. Right, let's switch clips then and have a look at some Pennine Reach at Copy Nook. So this bit's not changed. This was put in 2004, so it's still relatively new in this footage, but it's already looking knackered. And then again, long waits at signals, but we get moving. And then this has completely changed now coming up through here. So this used to be like this, and all the clearance down here, all that space on the right, was because this was intended to be the M65. That never got built, but so this was widened to create a road that had 2 bus lanes and traffic lanes down the middle. So all this junction here has changed. There's a Lidl now on the right. That bus lay-by is gone because again there's a new link road disappears off to the left. So this is all changed. This junction here now is a tiny little give-way junction. It's no longer a main turn. There was a massive pothole there that was there for years. And then you come down the hill, all this residential section here has been bypassed now by Carl Fogarty Way. Quite impressive to just think how, you know, this is a totally different Blackburn. Yeah, and just looking at it, it's incredible. I mean, that road is still there, but you wouldn't go down it unless you had to. It's literally just a local access now. And this is when the White Birk roundabout complex, you can see the artwork there being installed. That cost a fortune, that. And that's to represent the transition from urban to rural. You tell me. It just looks like a load of scaffolding, to be honest. And then you come up here, which is again where the M65 was meant to be. And then you leave Blackburn with Darwin's area into the Lancashire County Council's area, and that puts you onto the White Birk roundabout, which had just been completed when this was filmed. So this is like the White Birk Grand Prix now, and it's 4-lane roundabout with overhead signals. It's still very busy, even now. And then that takes you into the M65. And now for the final of the 3 clips, this is an interesting rundown from Junction 5 at Guide, which is now a signal controlled junction. This used to back up onto the motorway main line a lot at peak times. So you go around this roundabout, there's still plans now to expand this junction even further because it just cannot cope with the amount of car-based development around this area. There's a housing estate there on the right now, there's industrial units on the left. This is 4 lanes wide. The roundabout here has been replaced by a signal controlled crossroads, so it's completely changed. And then you turn left onto the B6231, and this bit's still the same. This little section here hasn't changed. These traffic lights were relatively new when this was filmed. That had just been a giveaway junction previously. But then you get to this point here, and that's the old Guide Square on the right behind those trees. But the Issa Way, which was the first ever video I did, if you've seen that, that's where I filmed that. So this road's now a dead end. It takes you down to Blackermoor Crossroads, which used to be an absolute nightmare for traffic because it was a very constrained single lane junction like this. It's still quite a nightmare for traffic, but it's only a T junction these days. This arm's been closed off. The pub there, that's no longer a pub. That's going to be demolished apparently so they can improve the junction. Now I'll be staggered to see what that's going to entail other than a wider radius and a footpath, because there's not really any room to do anything else. It'd be nice to get the road away from these houses on the right. That footway there where that child's walking is absolutely disgraceful. And then that takes us on to Stopes Brow, and that is the end of the footage. And I just figured I'd have a nice little nostalgia trip there. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.